first, in all of my work, there's a lot of thought process that goes into it. A lot of consideration for the site, for the, and all these criteria that we think are important, like the environment, because it's just doing due diligence, as they would say. It's cost effective. You know, it's all these kind of good business practices if business would practice that notion of natural capitalism. Like these wonderful wood buildings with their great quality wood that was tight grained fir being kind of mashed in basically pulverized, put into trucks and hauled out to landfills. There was this alter ego of me that kind of came into form. Woodman, this character that kind of went around gathering the broken shards of this wood to supposedly take home and keep warm by it. One would think, you know, who knows what Woodman would do with the stuff. Maybe you just felt protective or remorseful or felt sorry for the wood. I don't know. I think that most people try to categorize you, and that stigmatizes you on a label, and it's dangerous, you know, because it starts to contain you. It'll be 1,000 years before it's complete, so to speak, but really never complete. But complete in that it's kind of gone through a cycle of what a nursing log ultimately does is it creates a whole new series of trees that have grown out of it and have become themselves. And the log has totally disappeared, and it's only the gesture that the log was there that remains. That there's more life in a rotting tree than there is in a living tree is kind of an interesting fact. And it makes sense to people then to not think of all the fallen biomass in a forest as stuff they should clean up. The composting commode on First Avenue in 1978, you know, as part of this urban arboretum laboratory. I mean, the urban arboretum, we were planting trees in clay. So there was a kind of a three-purpose of that composting commode was to improve the soil, give a place for the homeless to a bit of human dignity, but also was a little subtle dig at the fact that Seattle was embarking on expanding the flush toilet system. And that's kind of a major civic utility dilemma that we find ourselves, that our infrastructure becomes more and more condensed rather than dispersed. Whole flow, which was another example of where the artist comes in late in the game. They'd already had designed their HVAC systems and their, you know, pretty much all their mechanical stuff and the architecture. It was all designed, and their landscape. Everything was designed. And you know the method which the Arts Commission down there works is. Then they finally, you know, then it's time to bring the art in. Well, I was trying to valiantly try to like back up a bit and try to make a sculpture that was going to work off from somehow what resources might be there. And I kind of seized upon the chillers that dump about 55,000 gallons of water into a storm sewer, or sanitary sewer actually, a month. That whole site and many blocks south of it all slopes to the south. And it set up a great opportunity for a lot of landscape water usage or whatever, using it to fill your toilets. That potential is there, but it hasn't been acted upon yet. And that's kind of a disappointment. So in a sense, it's a bit faux right now. I started doing when the tide is out, the table is set. And I did it with concrete plates. I really wanted to do it with ceramic plates. I finally got a residency at the Kohler factory in '84 to make an addition of plates that were placed at various outfalls where sewer water with all their contaminants would just spew out into waterways. And the tide is out, the table is set is a Salish saying about the bounty that when the tide goes out, you've got oysters, you've got clams, you've got crabs, you've got fish. The bounty, the table is set. You just kind of go out there and eat off the beach. And, you know, this has just perverted that meaning around because now we're spewing this stuff out. It's the effluence of affluence, so to speak. The county commissioners, which are all like very conservative guys, didn't want me doing anything along this creek that talked about the environmental issues. And so we never could do it there. I'm hoping sometime that'll change and we'll get that up, you know, because there's about 8 other really beautiful poems that could go up along the stream. So that's kind of this prerogative that I think we as artists, to get our point across when it comes to like kind of edgy or dicey things that aren't accepted at the time, it's finally up to us to play down that trump card, that ace in the hole, whatever, and do something anyway.